Hi, my name is Nijhon Foley, and I'm a second year RA. When I first sought this role, I had two goals. I wanted residents to feel seen and supported, and I also wanted to recreate the sense of brotherhood and community I experienced on my Florence Scholars House. Over the past 2 years, I've worked towards that by having casual conversations, checking in regularly, and being a consistent, approachable presence on my floor. Those small but meaningful interactions have allowed me to build trust within residents and foster a sense of belonging that I'm really proud of. As a returning RA, I understand that part of my role will be helping new RAs transition into their positions. I plan to meet with them all. I plan to meet them with the same high energy welcome I received when I first started, congratulating them on being chosen, and at the same time letting them know it's completely normal to feel nervous. The RA role can feel ambiguous at first and a little scary, but I'll help guide them through the early tasks like learning how to complete rounds, handle incident reports, and navigate husky chats, so they feel confident and prepared as they begin their own journey as RAs. I'll also provide assistance throughout the semester if they need it. Now, the way I approach the RA role is by seeing myself as a true member of the community, not just a supervisor or authority figure. I make a I make it a point to engage with everyone, not only my residents, but the entire building population. Whether it's a quick wave, a casual hello, or a small conversation, husky chat basically, but those everyday interactions help build comfort and trust over time. One moment that really stands out to me is when I noticed something unusual at the corner of my eye. What looked like someone sitting in a bush outside behind the building midday. Uh, I walked over and I introduced myself and asked half jokingly, what are they doing camping out? uh, as expected, the resident laughed it off and said everything was fine. I didn't want to push too hard, so I just let the conversation end naturally. I asked them if they needed any food or water. Or we got snacks in the office, like, what's going on? And I left them alone. Now, coincidentally, the very next day, I saw the same resident again. And this time I took a chance to check in a second time, just to make sure they were really doing all right, spend some time. And that's when they opened up and they had disclosed that they had recently gone through a really tough breakup and were struggling to process it. They had also uh, disclosed that they had been questioning their self worth and just needed someone to talk to. Took the time to listen and remind them that misunderstandings happen, and that none of it was their fault. I also told them about Shaw's drop-in counseling hours and other support resources available on campus. It turned into a surprisingly meaningful conversation that showed how far a simple act of noticing and checking in can go. For my 3 semesters, as I've for my last 3 semesters, as I've learned that simply taking an interest in other students on the floor makes it easier for them to inquire about issues on the floor. For example, this past year, I encountered a challenge on my all-male floor regarding bathroom cleanliness. Several residents had raised concerns about urine being left on the seats, which made the facilities uncomfortable to use, and the issues escalated when it was discovered that one resident had been inappropriately relieving himself in the bathroom, further, adding to the problem and creating a little tension among the residents. Before taking any action, I first checked in with the concerned residents, making sure they were okay, not traumatized or anything like that. And I wanted to make sure that they felt heard and supported. To remind them that I was, and also remind them that I was taking their concerns seriously. After that, I took a two-part approach to address the issue. First, I implemented a system, simple but effective, designating one stall per bathroom for urination only, because we don't have urinals for some reason. Don't know why. You know, this allows all the other stalls to be suitable for number two and up. The small change helped improve the overall cleanliness and made bathrooms more functional for everyone. Simultaneously, I met privately with the resident involved with the inappropriate relieving, and I checked in with him to see what was going on. This resident was also struggling. He was a bit older, and he wasn't quite fitting in with the general population on campus. We had spoke about that, and I connected him with the same resources. However, we were also able to come to the conclusion that you can't use the bathrooms for such purposes. Uh, and after that, the bathrooms were usable. The problem had How do you close that? The problem had been resolved. The case was closed. This experience reinforced for me that being an RA often means stepping in uncomfortable situations to protect the comfort and well being of the community. It also reminds me that leadership involves empathy first, checking in on those affected, then taking a calm, solution oriented action to resolve the issue. But my main takeaway from the last 3 semesters, including this one, of being an RA is that although we're tasked with building the community, we are a part of that same community. And the best way to build that community is from the inside. Thank you for reviewing my application, and it would be an honor to continue the work I've been doing and keep serving the residential community next year.